Senator Elizabeth Warren had the audacity, this is so terrifying in a public official, by the way, had the audacity to publicly tweet, she tweeted a link to the time, to an announcement that Elon Musk was the person of the year. And this is what she said, and I quote, "Let's change the rigged tax code so the person of the year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone else." Freeloading. That's the word she chose. How many people, Senator Warren, does Elon Musk employ? How many people do his hobbies, basically his business interests, provide for? How many families are able to buy their children clothes and food and buy a house and live their lives because he has turned his interests into a business that provides their livelihood? I mean, his mission is improving the world. He's innovating. And yes, he's made a ton of money doing that. And by the way, before we get into the philosophical, I don't know if you guys saw what Elon Musk responded to Elizabeth Warren in a series of tweets. This is what he said. This just slayed me. He said, "You remind me," he's talking to Warren, "you remind me of when I was a kid and my friend's angry mom would just randomly yell at everyone for no reason." That's actually what I love most about Elon Musk's Twitter is he's genuinely funny. He is genuinely a funny guy because that's such an unexpected thing to say. And then after he tweeted that, he goes, "Please don't call the manager on me, Senator Karen." But then he got more serious and he's like, "And if you opened your eyes for 2 seconds, you would realize I pay more taxes than any American in history this year." He goes, "Don't spend it all at once. Oh, wait, you already did." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Elizabeth Warren hates him. She hates him because he's rich. She hates him because he doesn't like Biden's agenda, because he's been very vocal opposing the Build Back Better plan that uses our money, takes our tax money, so much of our tax money, and essentially turns the United States into a socialist utopia. They are mad because he is rich, he is a skeptic, he thinks for himself, he's innovating, he doesn't need their validation or their pat on the head. And by the way, Elizabeth Warren is one of the most obnoxious politicians on the planet. She's completely unlikable. She's a socialist, so her ideology is poisonous to us, and she's an enormous hypocrite. This is Elizabeth Warren, who is yelling at someone else specifically as a politician. This is what I said was creepy before. When a politician singles out an individual to try to take what is theirs, she wants to steal his money. She's looking at him in the eye from her position of power in the United States Senate and saying, "Sir, I'm from the government and I want your money." That's so creepy. She's not just vaguely saying the wealthy, vaguely saying corporations. She's looking him in the eye on Twitter and saying, "I'm doing everything I can to take what's yours and give it to myself in government." That's a dangerous politician right there. So you can laugh all you want at Elon Musk's tweets. I think they're hilarious. I think it's a great way of exposing what a horrible person, what a hypocrite, what a power-hungry tyrant she at least wants to be. But let's go back to the hypocrisy for a moment, because this woman who hates Elon Musk for being rich, this is how she travels. Watch this video. So you will see Elizabeth Warren descending from the steps of a private jet, a chartered jet. How many of you have ridden on a private jet? I haven't. How many of you can afford to travel privately? That's right, because this is something that only the upper echelon, the wealthiest of the wealthy, do in our country. Elizabeth Warren is too special, too powerful to travel like you and I. She wouldn't ride economy. She wouldn't sit back there with us sorry people. No. She has a private jet that carries her from place to place. And then if you watch the end of that video, you'll notice that Elizabeth Warren, when she realizes that she's being videoed, she hides behind her staff. What are you hiding from, Senator? You look fine. Your hair and makeup's done. It's not like you don't want to be photographed for some reason. The only reason that you don't want to be photographed, that you are hiding behind your staffers, is because you know you are a hypocrite. You know, as you want to impose a wealth tax on other people, you are living like the wealthiest of the wealthy. Shame on you, Senator. Shame on you. There's also the matter, Elon Musk, of course, is correct. He's set to pay $15 billion in taxes this year. That's billion with a B. $15 billion. This is according to CNBC. Based on his November Twitter poll, Musk plans to sell 10% of his total Tesla shares. At the time, he owned just over 170 million shares, so theoretically, he plans to sell about 17 million shares to fulfill his Twitter pledge. As of Tuesday morning, he's sold a total of 11.9 million shares, according to Insider Score Verity. The sales have been spread over a dizzying 680 sales for a total of about $12.7 billion. Based on his 10% target, he would likely sell another 5 million shares, which at Monday's closing price of around $966 would be more than $4.8 billion. So CNBC goes on to say the tax bill would have been as high as $15 billion. $15 billion. That's not enough for Elizabeth Warren. This is one of those telling moments that really shows us the lack of character of Elizabeth Warren, really shows us her true agenda, her ulterior motive. She doesn't want him to pay some so-called fair share. She doesn't believe that he has any right to his private property. She doesn't believe that he should be wealthier than she is. She doesn't believe that he should be wealthier than anybody. She thinks as a government official, she has the right. She has given herself this moral superiority to think that her taking away his profits, his wealth, is something she's allowed to do, and it makes her a good person for doing it. And that is exactly the kind of politician that we should be completely afraid of. The kind of politician who thinks that they have different rights than we do and doesn't respect the fact that we have inherent human rights.